leadership is so in the moment. And when I talk to young people about leadership, every moment presents an opportunity for that. How you react, how you respond, how you communicate, how you show up. They're all moments to lead, and you're building that leadership profile, that DNA, and I think it starts with just understanding the other person. Leadership's about relationships, isn't it? Oh, you think about it. Leadership's. We were building out an organization, and the team came to me and said, we'd like to promote such and such into this role. And I asked the dumbest question in the world. I said, are they tough enough for the role? And I caught myself. I said, forget I ever said that. What a dumb question. We're not hiring somebody to play linebacker. We're hiring somebody that we want people to follow and believe in. And I said, will they follow this person? Will they believe in this person? They said, yes. I said, then give them the job. And it was, we all have these sometimes preconceived notions of what leadership is. Leadership is the ability to inspire people that they trust you. They trust your character. They trust that you'll do the right thing, as we're talking about with integrity and ethics. That's what leadership is, and that comes in many different forms.
It sounds to me like that comment came out of your non-smiling persona.
It might have been,
like a leader needs to be tough. They need to be, they need to be seen as serious.
It's, leaders have to be approachable. And otherwise, if people don't feel that they can approach the leader and bring the best version of themselves, that's not a healthy organization. Then it's a compliance organization.
Mm-hmm.
And look, if you want to grow an organization, add followers. If you want to be an organization that influences and does positive things, add leaders. And you're always developing leaders in an organization.
Is that true here at STV?
Absolutely. We spend a lot of time on leadership development. In fact, tonight, we have a young professionals networking event throughout the industry. It's leaders from various construction companies, engineering companies, architects coming here it's a speed mentoring session where we've got not only STV employees, emerging professionals from across the space in New York City are coming here tonight. We're doing speed networking. So you're going to have decades of experience talking to the next generation and sharing what they've learned. And it's just I'm really looking forward to this. This will be the second best thing I'm doing today. The top will be that speed networking, because that's part of what we do here at STV is really invest in future generations.
So let's move to the closure here. What's your favorite book? I mean, lots of people like to read to become better leaders and to become better at anything. Do you have any favorite book that you'd recommend to our audience?
Somebody once asked me the question, how many books do you read a year? I had to think about that for a second. And he was telling me that he met someone that said, 6 books a year is a good threshold for people. I don't know if that's true or not. But I would like to say, in terms of reading, you are what you read. And I think that's a good indication of somebody's curiosity. And I think you can read lots of things. I'll mention 3 books, if I might. Okay. One that I'm reading now is called The End of the World as We Know It. Okay. And it's about global supply chain. And it's just intriguing to think about, over the course of history, how the world we live in today and how the global supply chain was filled. But other books that I think are impactful, one I read recently was Trust Matters More Than Ever by David Horsager. And he talks about 8 pillars of trust. And I think as a leader, that was really impactful, and I've shared that with a few people. Yeah. Another book I read recently was Think Again by Adam Grant. And this was his sequel, 2 decades later from his initial book of Think. And he had a concept in there that just really resonated. It was the joy of being wrong. And you might say, well, what joy is in there in that? when you're wrong, your assumptions are wrong, it means you're learning something new. And I just thought that was really powerful. I call it the joy of not knowing. And I suggest to people every day, if you don't have some point in your day, it's like, I didn't know that. What did you learn? And so there are 3 books that I've read recently that I would recommend to folks.
Well, I think we've covered everything. I mean, you've got through a lot of things that we think is really important, and you shared a lot from your own personal experience. That's very useful and very helpful, and it helps people identify that I can sit in his chair eventually. I can learn.
You never envision yourself in these roles. You might, but you shouldn't. That was advice I got from a mentor earlier in my career. Never aspire to a title, because when you're ready or you think you're ready, that title might not be there anymore. Organizations are just ways of framing yourself to deliver a service, whether it's delivering a transit service to the customers of the community or delivering a project service to somebody. But you can always be a leader. And what you want to be is that person who's respected, who's sought out because of how they show up and how they add value. And I think that was probably one of the things I learned early on. I was fortunate to be around a lot of really good mentors that it's only when you look back, you realize that there were lots of teaching moments along the way. So you get to a point in your career like this where you want to just share those experiences, and everybody will react differently. I like to say the listener completes the thought. And in leadership, everybody's going to receive those lessons differently.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think you've really covered a lot of really important concepts that will be useful to many students of leadership throughout the country. So thank you again.
Thank you for the opportunity.